It's incredible to think that 7 years have passed since Leicester City miraculously won the Premier League. At the time, it almost felt like a dream watching the Foxes inch closer and closer to the title until that Monday night came and Nazar gifted Leicester City their sole Premier League win. They would go on to have solid campaigns in all three European competitions, and they would even win the FA Cup and Community Shield. It really felt like the Foxes could be at the same level as the Big Six, but they fell off hard, much due to bad financial decisions. In the next season, the Foxes will play in the Championship, and a long road back to the top of English football awaits them. But today, we're looking back to the most used 11 by the Foxes when they won the Premier League in 2016, and see where are they now. Starting out with Kasper Schmeichel. The Man City reject finally found a home in Craven Cottage after numerous loans while under contract with the Citizens. He evolved alongside the Foxes and had a huge influence in all of Leicester City's success. It almost feels like he guessed the club's downfall since he departed for Nice last summer and helped them reach a solid 9th place in Ligue 1. He's currently 36 and is also a current member of the Danish national team. Right back, Danny Simpson. This man has an impressive resume for sure. A Champions League win, 2 Premier League titles, and a date with Miss California that he still thanks Ronaldo till this day. You can argue that his resume is a bit more impressive than his footballing talent, but Simpson was an important piece in this Leicester side nonetheless. He had 3 solid seasons with the Foxes, but he has been plagued by injuries for about 5 years now. Although he hasn't retired, he barely managed to get any rhythm and hasn't played a match since the beginning of 2022. Then he's 36 and he currently trains with Macclesfield Town. The first man in our centre-back partnership is Robert Huth. From having his own Premier League medal thrown into the crowd to conquering another one 10 years later, Robert Huth surely has a lot of stories to tell. The German centre-back always looked out of his depth at Chelsea, and his bad relationship with Mourinho didn't help him at all. He then carved his own story, alternating between mid-table Premier League and the top of the Championship until he joined the Foxes in 2015. Huth came with the intention of helping the Foxes avoid relegation, but little did he know he would be fulcral to their Premier League conquest the following year. He stayed with the Foxes for 2 more seasons, and after a couple of injuries, he decided to quietly retire in 2019. Robert's currently 38 and works as a loan manager at Leicester. Next up is the captain, Wes Morgan. The Jamaican international was a strong wall that helped Leicester retain their advantage several times in 2016. In fact, he was the only Leicester City player to start every match in that iconic season. After arriving at Craven Cottage from Nottingham Forest in 2012, Morgan fell at home and never left until he retired in 2021. Nowadays he's 39 and looking to get an executive role in football, while also being very vocal about racism and the importance of developing women's football. The most used left back that season was Christian Fuchs. The Austrian defender was one of the big characters in the dressing room at Leicester, arriving from Schalke 04 in the summer of 2015 before the title win. He went on to spend 6 years at the club, leaving in 2021, also after winning the FA Cup, to join Charlotte FC in their first MLS season. Fuchs is 37 now, has retired this year in the US and transitioned into an assistant coach role at Charlotte. Central midfielder, N'Golo Kanté. The French midfielder was undoubtedly one of the few superstars that constituted this Leicester team. Having joined the Premier League in 2015 as an unknown midfielder from Caen, Kanté played a key role in Leicester's win, earning a move to Chelsea in 2016, making him a back-to-back Premier League winner while also receiving the PFA Player of the Year award. He then went on to win the World Cup with France in 2018 before a Champions League title followed in 2021 to establish the Parisian as one of the best midfielders in the world. Nowadays, he's 32 and despite a very serious injury, he's still playing for Chelsea. Central midfielder, Danny Drinkwater. Playing alongside Kanté, Danny Drinkwater was elevated to the England squad through his performances in the engine room of Ranieri's side. However, things have not gone to plan since, with a £30 million transfer to Chelsea in 2017, yielding just 23 appearances in 5 years at Stamford Bridge. This is perhaps the saddest entry on the list, as Drinkwater is simply mentally unwell. He got himself involved in multiple controversies, including punching a teammate while on loan at Aston Villa, a DUI case, and a pub fight because he was hitting on a teammate's girlfriend. All of that doesn't help in his search for a new club, since the last time he played was already over a year ago while under contract with Reading. He's 33, but hasn't retired yet and still hopes for another shot at redemption. Up next, we got Riyad Mahrez. Along with Kanté, one of the players who has gone on to establish themselves at the pinnacle of the game is the Algerian winger. In that legendary season, he scored 16 goals and was elected the PFA Player of the Year. He left Craven Cottage 2 years later to play for Man City, and in his 5 years since the transfer, the 32-year-old has added 4 further Premier League titles, as well as the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations to his packed trophy cabinet. Who knew this guy from Le Havre, joining a championship team in 2013, would be this successful? Left midfielder Mark Albrighton. Having joined from Aston Villa as an exciting youngster, fans were happy to see Albrighton fulfill his potential with a Premier League title win. Mark would also be a part of the squad who won the FA Cup and Community Shield, but after 9 years in the club, he decided he wanted to leave in order to get more game time, so he was loaned out to West Brom, but he hasn't impressed that much. At 33 years old, his Leicester City contract will expire this summer and is unlikely to be renewed despite a remarkable career with the club. Central forward, Shinji Okazaki. One of the unsung heroes of the title-winning team, Okazaki scored 5 goals that season, with link-up play and pressing more important from the Japanese striker. He was already a veteran when he arrived in 2015, and he would go on to spend 4 years at the club, leaving in 2019. Following stints in Spain with Huesca and Cartagena, the 37-year-old is in the late stages of his career, currently playing the Belgian league for Sint-Truiden, while also looking to become a coach. Centre forward, Jamie Vardy. Of course it had to end with Vardy. He's the final surviving piece of the squad, the top goal scorer who dragged Leicester to Premier League glory, the life of the party. But sadly, it truly feels like the party that has ended for Leicester and for Vardy. He continued to be a very successful player despite not leaving for bigger flights, earning 26 England caps and playing in 2 international tournaments, while also maintaining the same levels of efficiency close to goal. But nowadays, it seems like the wells run dry. He only scored 6 goals this season, and at 36, he will accompany Leicester City to the Championship. Manager, Claudio Ranieri. Having had a stellar career with clubs such as Valencia, Fiorentina and Chelsea, a poor spell with Greece looked to have spelled the end of Ranieri's career at the top level, as he was sacked before taking the Leicester job. However, upon his arrival in 2015, the Tinkerman relied on a small pool of players in a 4-4-2 system to win the title with Leicester, playing defensively solid football, but the following season proved to be a great challenge and he was sacked just over a half year later. He has since gone on to manage Fulham, Watford, Roma, Sampdoria and Cagliari, with the latter being his latest appointment, where he's currently fighting for promotion to Serie A. And that is it for the video. I hope you liked this trip down memory lane. If you did, leave a like so I know you want to watch more content like this. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single update from Thorn FC. And since you're sitting there so comfortably, watch this rewind on where are the last players to ever win the league with Man United. I'll see you there.